I worked 18-hour shifts to pay off our mortgage. The night we finally burned the papers, my wife whispered to her sister, "Good. Now I can finally leave him debt-free." They toasted. I said nothing. But the next morning, she woke up to an empty house and 63 missed calls. I watched our wedding album burn first. The flames licked over our smiling faces, frozen in that perfect lie, while the ashes of the mortgage papers spiraled up the chimney like a funeral pyre. The night had started as a celebration. We'd done it. Years of sacrifice. 18-hour shifts. Holidays missed. Sleep lost. Weekends spent in steel-toe boots instead of on vacations. Finally debt-free. The house was ours. Or so I thought. The moment the last signature dried, my wife, Emily, called her sister, Lila, over for champagne. Said it was tradition. Said we should burn the papers and toast to freedom. I remember sitting on the worn leather couch, still in my work clothes, fingers raw and stained, while they poured drinks. Emily looked radiant, vibrant in a way I hadn't seen in years. I figured it was relief. I was wrong. They stood by the fireplace, glasses clinking. I reached for my beer, too tired for bubbles, when I heard it. Clear as glass. Good. Now I can finally leave him debt-free. Laughter. A soft, mean little laugh. Then Lila's voice told you it was worth it. No alimony, no debt. You're golden. Another toast. I didn't move. Didn't breathe. Did they know I was 3 feet away? Maybe they didn't care. The rest of the night blurred. I said nothing. Watched the two of them sip champagne, watched the mortgage papers curl into ash. At some point, Emily kissed my cheek, said she was going to bed. Lila left, perfume lingering like poison in the air. I sat there. 4 hours. Something inside me hollowed out. Not rage. Not grief. Something colder. Strategy. By dawn I had a plan. She woke up to an empty house. No car in the driveway. No clothes in the closet. No work boots by the door. Not a trace of me. And 63 missed calls on her phone. Not from me. From everyone else. I'll back up. The thing about working 18-hour shifts? You learn to plan. You learn to run numbers. You learn how to survive. I'd been running the house finances for years. Emily wasn't interested. Bills bored her. Investments confused her. That suited me fine. What she didn't know, what Lila didn't know, was how I'd structured everything. The house was paid off, but it wasn't in both our names. When we refinanced 4 years ago to get a better rate after her spending had racked up $25,000 in credit card debt I quietly paid off, I took a gamble. I had her sign over full ownership to me under a trust. Said it was a legal loophole to protect us from liability. She never read the fine print. The trust? Irrevocable. I was the sole trustee. The house was mine. I started that morning by draining our joint account, legally mine, as both incomes had funneled through my business account first. Emily's paychecks were laughable next to mine. She worked part-time at a boutique, spent the rest of her time, well, not working. I moved every dollar into a private account. Then I disabled her credit cards. Cut them off at the source. I'd also been paying the utilities on autodraft from my business, not the joint account. When she woke up, the power was still on. The water still ran. But she wouldn't be able to pay them next cycle. The car? Leased in my name. I returned it early that morning. Her phone plan? Under my company. Cancelled. But that wasn't the worst part. The worst part was the people. See, Emily had a side hobby: social media. Instagram perfect life. Influencer light. She posted photos of our perfect marriage to thousands of followers. And behind the scenes? An affair. With a fitness coach named Brandon. I'd suspected for months. Long gym sessions. Late night texts. A new lingerie set that magically never appeared in our bedroom. I didn't confront her. I collected screenshots, GPS logs, security cam footage from the driveway, Brandon's car pulling up on nights I worked late. I packaged it all neatly. Sent it to his wife. Yes, Brandon was married. She went nuclear. That morning, before I even left town, I scheduled emails to go out. To Brandon's wife. To Emily's parents. To her influencer sponsors. To her boutique boss. The subject line? Thought you should know. Attachments included. I drove 3 states away. To a small cabin I'd bought in cash 6 months prior, half vacation idea, half getaway fund. Prepaid phone. No trace. By noon, my burner phone started lighting up. First, Lila. 17 missed calls. 12 voicemails. Then her parents. Then Emily. Dozens of calls. Texts going from "where are you" to "please talk to me" to "you ruined my life." A friend of mine who lives nearby swung by the house later that day. Sent me photos. Emily on the front porch, sobbing. Neighbors staring. A police cruiser in the driveway. She tried to report me missing. Didn't work. Then she tried to claim financial abuse. Didn't work. Then trespassing. On her own house. Didn't work. Because it wasn't hers. It was never hers. That night, Emily posted a tearful video on her Instagram. Mascara streaked. Shaking hands. Claiming I'd abandoned her. Claimed I'd trapped her financially. Claimed I was a dangerous narcissist. The comments? Brutal. But not for me. Because alongside her video, others were posting too. Brandon's wife posted the screenshots I'd sent. Tagged Emily. Tagged the boutique. Tagged the sponsors. By midnight, Emily's social media was a flaming wreck. Sponsorships dropped her. Boutique fired her. And Brandon? His wife filed for divorce and tagged him in the papers publicly. I haven't spoken to Emily. Not directly. But through friends I know this. She's moved back in with Lila. No car. No money. No credit. Her parents? Furious. I sent them the full package too. Her perfect marriage? Exposed. Her influencer career? Dead. And the house? I listed it this morning. Already have 3 cash offers. Final thought? Sometimes silence is the sharpest knife. And some debts aren't paid with money. Edit 1. To everyone asking, yes, everything was legal. The trust is bulletproof. I had a lawyer review it when I set it up. She can't touch the house or the funds. Edit 2. No, I'm not taking her back. Not now. Not ever. This was years of lies. You don't come back from that. Edit 3. For those wondering, yes. I kept the ring. Pawned it. The money paid for the cabin. Call it poetic. Update 1. It got worse. Way worse. The morning after I posted the initial story, my burner phone lit up again. Not calls this time, notifications. Emily had gone public. Full scorched earth. She'd posted a new video, longer this time, 15 minutes, full waterworks. Sitting in Lila's kitchen, face blotchy, voice trembling. I need to tell my side, she began. I was trapped in that marriage. Forced to stay because he controlled all the finances. I didn't even have access to my own paycheck. He isolated me. Emotionally abused me. I was scared every day. The comments? At first, sympathetic. But then? Someone leaked my original post. Someone from her own follower base, probably one of the smaller influencers who hated her behind the scenes. The post spread. Screenshots of Brandon's wife's exposed started circulating again. The tide turned fast. Suddenly her followers were asking, if he was abusive, why were you bragging about your perfect marriage for years? Didn't your sister Lila post about the debt-free plan? Where's the police report if you were scared? Then Lila stepped in. Posted her own defense of Emily. But in doing so, she made a critical mistake. She posted screenshots of their private messages trying to prove how long Emily had been planning her escape. And in one of them, Emily explicitly wrote, once the house is paid off and in my name, I'll file. No debt. No alimony. Free and clear. But it never ended up in her name. And now, thousands of people had proof of premeditated intent. Meanwhile, behind the scenes, her boutique boss messaged me. Professional. Cold. Thank you for the heads up. We had no idea. Her contract has been terminated effective immediately. Turns out Emily had been taking influencer freebies under the table, violating her employment agreement. She was fired before she even woke up the next day. But it didn't stop there. Emily's parents? Mortified. They emailed me, emailed begging me to reconsider for the sake of the family's reputation. They offered a deal. I return half the house value to Emily. They publicly disown Lila for dragging their family into shame. I sign a non-disclosure to stop posting about the situation. I laughed. And then, I forwarded the email to Emily's remaining sponsors. And to Brandon's wife, who had a massive legal team now involved. But here's where it spirals. Remember how I said Emily tried to go public with more lies? She did. She filed a false police report. Claimed I'd stolen jewelry and personal items when I left. Big mistake. Because when the police called me, I was ready. I had video. Security cam footage from the entire house inside and out. The cameras had been there for years, part of our home insurance discount. Emily never bothered to learn how they worked. I'd saved the footage of me leaving. No bags. No boxes. No jewelry. Just a backpack with clothes and my work laptop. I sent the footage to the officer. He watched it. Called me back. You're clear. Her story doesn't match the evidence. If anything, you might want to consider a harassment claim. And that's exactly what I'm doing now. With my lawyer's help, yes, I hired one, not cheap, but worth it. I filed a cease and desist for defamation. A formal notice of harassment and false reporting. A notice to vacate the house within 14 days, yes, Emily had snuck back in during the chaos thinking she could reclaim it. Oh, and the house? Remember those 3 cash offers? Now I have 5. And one of them? Brandon's wife. She wants to buy the house just to burn it down. Not legally, of course, but metaphorically. She messaged me. If you sell it to me, I'll make sure Emily never sets foot on that street again. I'll turn it into a battered women's shelter. Public. Well documented. Picture her walking by that every day. Tempting. Very tempting. But here's the cherry on top. Emily doesn't know I have more. Because buried in those security cam archives? Footage of her and Brandon in our bedroom. Multiple times. Timestamps. Faces clear as day. Not revenge porn. Just clear proof of infidelity in a marital property. In many states, that's more than enough to nuke any potential alimony or spousal support she might try to claim later. I haven't used it yet. I'm waiting. Because tomorrow? She's hired a lawyer. She plans to file for spousal support and marital asset division, still under the delusion she owns part of the house. She has no idea what's coming. Edit 1. Yes, I'm documenting everything. Emails, texts, calls, footage. Every step. My lawyer says we're building an airtight case. If Emily keeps pushing, she's going to lose more than just the house. Edit 2. To those asking, yes, I've been in touch with Brandon's wife. We've shared evidence. She's pursuing her own legal angle now. Turns out Brandon had multiple affairs. Emily was just one of many. Edit 3. Final note for tonight, Emily's influencer account temporarily suspended. Several brands have now pulled partnerships. Word is spreading fast. Update 2. She went after my family. Yeah? All bets are off. I didn't think she'd sink lower. I really didn't. But Emily? She's desperate now. And desperate people make fatal mistakes. It started with a text. From my younger sister, Claire. She's 23. Sweet kid. Just finished nursing school. Has nothing to do with any of this. Her message? Why is Emily demaying me? She said you're dangerous and that I should stay away from you. Attached were screenshots Emily had sent her. I know he's your brother, but you need to be careful. He's emotionally unstable. He's been threatening me. I'm scared of what he might do. You're a nurse, you should understand the signs of a narcissist. Please, just look out for yourself. I saw red. Claire was shaking when she called me. I didn't believe her, of course not. But why would she do this? Simple. She was trying to isolate me. Trying to poison the well with my own family. Trying to manufacture a narrative in case this goes to court. But it didn't stop with Claire. The next day, my mother got a visit. In person. Emily showed up at my mom's condo with Lila. They brought flowers. Pretended it was an innocent visit. But halfway through, they started in. That I'd hidden money from Emily. That I'd cut her off with no warning. That I'd been emotionally abusive for years. That I was now off the grid and dangerous. My mom? She's not stupid. She played along, smiled politely. Then the second they left, she called me furious. She thinks I'm going to side with her? After everything you've done for this family. But here's where it turns. Emily left a letter. A handwritten one. Slid under my mom's door after they left. I had my mom read it to me over the phone. It was a veiled threat. Please encourage him to be reasonable or things could become more complicated. I saved the voicemail. Saved a copy of the letter. My lawyer? Delighted. She's just handed us harassment and intimidation evidence. And now it's targeting third parties. We're going to bury her. But I wasn't done. See, while Emily was out there spreading lies, Brandon's wife and I were digging. Turns out, Emily had other secrets. Secret bank account. Hidden under a maiden name variation. She'd been siphoning money from our joint account for over a year, small transfers just under my radar. Over $18,000. Fake sponsor deals. Emily had been accepting gifts from smaller brands, then reselling them for cash. Technically fraud since she was claiming them as sponsored content without disclosing payment. Even worse? Fake charity posts. Last December, she ran a donation drive for a women's shelter. Posted photos. Collected money from her followers. No record of any donation made. We traced the PayPal account. Straight to her secret bank. And here's the kicker. I've handed all of this to my lawyer. And to Brandon's wife's legal team. And to the police. But remember, Emily still thinks she has leverage. Because today, she served me papers. She's officially filed for spousal support, 50% of the house value, reimbursement of lost income, restraint of sale on the house. Absolute joke. First, the house is in a trust. She doesn't own a brick of it. Second, we were married under a prenup. One SHE demanded when we got married, ironically to protect her influencer brand. The prenup excludes spousal support. And third, the lost income? She was fired for cause. Her own actions. I've already filed a counterclaim. Full defense with evidence of fraud, harassment, false reporting. Motion for court-ordered damages for reputation harm. Restraining order to prevent further contact with my family. But I'm not done. Because tomorrow, we drop the bomb. I'm going public. Not here. Not just a Reddit post. A full legal statement. Released through my lawyer. Posted across platforms. Including evidence of the affair. Proof of financial fraud. Proof of false charity. Screenshots of threats. Why? She threatened to ruin my reputation with false stories. So I'm flipping the script. She wanted an audience? She'll get one. But it won't be sympathy she finds. Final notes tonight. The house sale is moving forward. The buyer? Brandon's wife's LLC. She offered above asking just to spite Emily. Emily's IG account? Now permanently banned. Sponsors blacklisted her across multiple networks. Edit 1. Yes, my family is safe. My sister has blocked Emily and Lila. My mom is documenting everything. We're pursuing the restraining order aggressively. Edit 2. For those asking, yes, Emily and Lila are now both under police warning for harassment. Update 3. I thought Emily was the monster. I was wrong. It was Lila all along. And what we uncovered. It's ruined lives. Maybe even more than I wanted. When I left off, we just begun pulling threads on Lila's involvement. We suspected she'd pushed Emily toward this mess. We had no idea how far it went. Brandon's wife, let's call her Melissa, has resources. Lawyers. Investigators. People who can dig deep. When we passed them some of Lila's DMs to my sister, Melissa got curious. She ran a background check. Public records. Social media forensics. Data scrubbing services. First red flag? Multiple burner accounts. Lila had been running sock puppet Instagram and Reddit accounts that attacked me anonymously online. Not just now. For months. Second red flag? Anonymous tips sent to my employer. False allegations about financial misconduct. Emotional instability. From an encrypted email traced to Lila's VPN subscription. She was actively trying to get me fired even before Emily made her move. Then came the third and darkest discovery. Lila was never just helping Emily escape me. She orchestrated the entire thing. Melissa's team dug up archived chat logs. A now-defunct group chat between Lila, Emily, and two of Emily's influencer friends. Screenshots showed Lila coaching Emily on how to fake emotional abuse, how to structure a sympathy post, and get this, how to record fake proof videos. But it gets worse. One message? Dated months ago before I even paid off the mortgage. As soon as he finishes the house, you file. Get the house or bleed him dry in court. I'll handle the peer side. You'll come out the victim. He won't know what hit him. Another? Even colder. If you have to cry on camera, think about something sad. That always gets sympathy. Except, Emily never had a miscarriage. They planned to fabricate one. At this point, my lawyer was ready to move forward with civil harassment and defamation suits against both Emily and Lila. But then, Melissa's investigator found the nuclear bomb. Financial fraud. On Lila's part. See, Lila wasn't just helping Emily. She'd been skimming. Lila had set up a fake GoFundMe under a friend's name, pretending to raise money for Emily's escape from an abusive marriage. It raised over $30,000. Almost none of it reached Emily. The funds were funneled into Lila's personal account through 2 layers of dummy PayPal accounts. When Melissa confronted her, Lila tried to lie. Claimed it was to cover legal fees. There were no legal fees at that point. At this point, Emily's entire world began to collapse. Here's what happened in the last 72 hours. My legal team filed full suits against both Emily and Lila. The police are investigating Lila for fraud, yes, a criminal case now. Melissa's team has frozen the GoFundMe funds and alerted donors. And Emily? She turned on Lila. Yesterday, through her lawyer, Emily sent me a letter. A pathetic, desperate thing. Offered to drop all claims, forfeit any right to the house or money if I agreed not to press charges or sue her family. She even included a handwritten apology. I was manipulated. Lila told me this was the only way. I never wanted to hurt you. I just wanted freedom. I didn't respond. Because the damage is done. And some debts? Don't get forgiven. As of this morning. The house sale is finalized. Melissa's LLC now owns it. Emily has moved back in with her parents. Lila's bank accounts are frozen pending investigation. Emily's influencer career? Dead. Lila's professional license? Under review. And me? I'm free. But not unchanged. Because here's the truth. I spent years working myself to the bone for a life that was a lie. I spent nights dreaming of a future with someone who was already planning my financial execution. I miss birthdays, holidays, moments I can't get back, thinking it was for us. There was no us. And now? There's no peace either. I should feel relief. Victory. Something. But instead, it's just cold. I wake up in the cabin, quiet, beautiful. No chaos. No Emily. No lies. But I also wake up knowing how easily life can be weaponized against you. Would I do it again? The preparation? The silent strike? The burn-it-down exit? Yes. 1,000 times. Because some betrayals? You just have to move on. So this is it. My final post. To those who followed the story. Protect yourselves. Always. To those who asked if I regret going nuclear. You don't negotiate with toxic people. You walk away. And to Emily and Lila, if you're still watching, you didn't break me. You forged me. Goodbye. Final edit. For those worried, yes, my family is fully protected. Claire is safe. My mom is safe. All communications now run through legal channels. No, I won't reconcile. No, there's no coming back. Some stories end in redemption. This one ends in ruin.